Welcome to Talk to Me with Life Coach Natasha. My name is Natasha Sherman, and I am your host. Full self-expression seems to elude many of us, and yet it seems something that we long for. Access to creativity also seems to be elusive, and yet something that we long for. My guest today is Sha Rene, and she is a woman of many expressions. She is a poetess, a singer, songwriter, musician, just to name a few. And she's here today to share her journey of expression and creativity. So welcome, Sha Rene.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
So I know that the big thing going on in your life right now is your book.
Yes.
Called Words Can Explain.
Yes.
And this is a book of poetry. So tell us a little bit about that and about what brought you here.
Okay. I started writing poems at the age of 10. I was always on stage, always in my room writing, and started saving up lots of my poems. So through the years, continued to write, started writing lyrics and songs, and then I captured all of the songs that I didn't have music to and put them all together in a book.
Wow.
And so they're basically all of my words. So the title is Words Can Explain.
So in this journey of musician, singer, what's your focus now, or what exciting things are going on for you now?
Well, I used to have a 12-inch single out called I'm Good For You back in the 80s that played on the radio. And so now I'm doing the book, so I'm coming across a lot of new people. Recently, I just met Meryl Streep. I'm like so excited.
Really?
Yeah,
How
I
did that
did. It was
happen?
so great. I became a sponsor of the American Academy of Poets this year. And there was a big gala event in New York at Avery Fisher Hall. And Meryl Streep was there. Katie Couric, I met her as well. I gave them both a book, and I'm waiting to hear what they say.
Awesome.
I also met Felicia Rashad, P. Diddy. So many people through my journey here and promoting the book. I'm getting a lot of people to read it.
That's exciting. That's really exciting. So, when I look at you, I mean, it's like I think to myself, how can anybody have that much creativity, and how do you kind of balance it all? I mean, where do you focus? Where do you start?
Well, I start normally with my thoughts and feelings. And so that's where it comes from. If it's meant to be musical, then I sit down at my piano at home and I start to play. If it's something I want to express and I want people to hear, then I start to speak and it becomes words. So that's how I came about this book. And I'll get a chance in a few minutes to read a few for you and walk through that.
So is there any particular theme for you that you're trying to talk about?
Yes. In African American poetry, there's this new thing called spoken word. And it stemmed from the rap culture. Rappers would be out there and they're rhyming and, from Run DMC and everything. And, there was this thing called, spoken word that everyone started to do. And you'll actually go on the streets and see kids rapping. And it's not for music. It's just to say something. So I decided my mission would be to be able to get a book out so that African Americans could go back to bookstores. Like right now, they'll buy a CD, but it's like, okay, let's get a book. Like I see a lot of talent, and I really want them to all put their words together so that everyone can read those words, so that your words can be out. And my struggle has been just ensuring that the message is there, that everyone's able to see that it's a creative new genre, and that's what I want to promote, to make sure that people know that it's something new. My goal is very similar to a play that was done in the 70s called For Colored Girls. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of African American women on the stage, and they were all just speaking words. And that's the vision that I have for this book, to actually make it a Broadway play. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Everybody kind of, that's your overall mission, is to invite people to speak.
Yes.
And to hear their voices.
Yes.
And to create a venue for that.
Yes.
In your personal writings, is there a personal message in your spoken word?
Yeah. Our community faces a lot of problems. We have a major issue with HIV/AIDS. We have issues with, Bill Cosby was on Bill O'Reilly a few months ago, and he had stats of the African American family that only 70% of African Americans stay with their families. Their families are broken. So with that being said, I believe that, we have leaders, but I believe through our words we can have these messages, that the girls should kind of protect themselves and not do things they shouldn't. So I do have a poem in my book called Any Place, Anywhere, Anytime that I call my HIV anthem, just for girls to not do things they shouldn't do, and also just for us to stay together and families to stay together. But also, it's not just for that community, it resonates to everyone. So I think my words, everyone can understand and appreciate, it's about life.
It's great.
Yeah.
So do you want to read one of your poems?
Yeah, I'll read a few for you.
Go.
Okay. I'll read the first one, and it's called Life. And this was inspired by just things we go through in life and how, you walk through life and things don't always work out like you want. So that's what this is about. It's called Life. If life is a beach, why can't I find the water? If life is a train, why can't I get off here? If life is a sky, why are there so many clouds covering the blue? If life is love, why can't I be with you? If life is rain, what is this umbrella? If life is snow, tell me why I'm melting. If life is a dream, why can't I wake up now? If life is love, why don't you know how? If life is the mall, why don't I have money to buy anything I want? If life is a restaurant, why don't I ever get just what I ordered? If life is a mountain, how can I climb without shoes? If life is love, how did I lose you?
That's great. You know what I love about that is, I read some of the book.
Yes.
And it's one thing to read it.
Yes.
But it's another thing to hear the author read it.
Thank you.
Because then there's the life behind it.
Yes.
That's
yes.
awesome.
And that's